Hey guys, how you doing? This is Gert, Community Experience Manager here in Remote Year. Super excited to bringing you this amazing adventure we have crafted for you guys. What you can expect today is some testimonies from remotes who already experienced a little bit of the north of Albania. And then I also, with me today, I have Ardit. Ardit, would you like to introduce yourself?
Hello, everybody. My name's Ardit. As Garrett introduced me, I am Tirana City Manager, and I am also extremely excited to be able to offer this 9-day mountaineering trip into the Albanian Alps. And we'll be discussing the trip, and we'll also get a chance to hear some testimonials from remotes that came into Albania in 2023 and absolutely loved it.
Both of us love your country. Currently performing as the Community Experience Manager of Remote Year. Dan brings me to Global Adventures. For people that they don't know, Global Adventures basically is our shorter version of Remote Year. If you haven't done Remote Year, basically Remote Year offers a platform for you with an accommodation and a workspace for up to a month or 4 or 12 months, depending on the product you are looking for. What I'm working on and supporting is a little bit of a, as I mentioned, a different animal. It's maybe we're targeting a little bit the people that maybe don't have a month to travel, but they still want to experience and do something very cool with the RY standard and a community that will be there to support you. One of these trips is gonna be the northern Albania. Ardit will be going in detail in a second, but just to give you a little bit of an idea and value proposition, basically we have picked the north of Albania not only because of its beauty, but also because of the tremendous culture that the north of Albania has, and also because we wanted to add a challenge to our community.
Just for some context, this is something that Garrett and I have both wanted to do for some time now. We wanted to bring it to life. But obviously there's a lot of logistics. You can't just go into the most undiscovered mountainous range in all of Europe, throw a bunch of remotes out there and be like, here you go, have fun, hope to see you soon. Obviously there's a lot of planning, there's a lot of logistics that go into it. Finding the right guides, finding the right people to try to facilitate this kind of experience in a way. It's still remote year. We're still very accommodating. We're still going to be providing Wi-Fi access, so you don't have to necessarily take time off from work. It's something that you can fit into your schedules.
I had the opportunity actually to go twice to the north of Albania. That's how much I loved it. One during the summer, so in prime time, and one during the autumn. For you guys to understand, the north is basically these rocky mountains that spike from, or they soar from like nowhere, and there are 1,000 of them, and they're just beautiful. And the contrast between the blue sky, the gray of the Rocky Mountains, the green of the trees, plus the turquoise of the water is so beautiful. And then obviously there's the hospitality of the people. The food is amazing. The best honey I had in the world was in the north of Albania. The hikes were a little bit tough, but completely worth it. After, during, at the beginning, or at the end of every single trekking, there's a cold plunge, a natural cold plunge that you can do to reward yourself after a day of trekking. That to me was like, this is your cherry on top. I'm very happy here. Ardit, why don't you tell us a little bit of what we have cooked? It's ready to go. I'm so excited.
Essentially, it's a 9-day adventure. It starts in Tirana, accommodation in Tirana, meet and greet. There's a dinner included. That's where you'll get a chance to meet me. I believe Garrett will also be there. You'll also get a chance to meet our guide, essentially a mountain goat, Anna. We love her. A lot of remotes have met her. She's incredible. After Tirana, we'll be going up to Lumishalas. Lumishalas in itself, you're probably going to think you're somewhere in Southeast Asia. Crystal clear water. We're going to be swimming. We're going to be doing some cold plunges. We'll be spending a night in Lumishalas. We'll be exploring. We'll be doing a little bit of hiking. It's just a little bit of a teaser to get you warmed up. On the second day, we'll be going back down through Lumišalas and then making our way to Valbonne Valley. Valbonne Valley is one of my favorite places in all of Europe, one of my favorite places in Albania, of course. Very remote. The people there are very hospitable. These families have been there for generations. They give their life and soul and everything they can into their land, into their homes, into welcoming guests. And Valbonne Valley will be our base. From there, over the course of the next 3 days, we will be summiting 3 different mountains. I won't get into too much detail, but what I want you to know is that the total elevation gain over these 3 days, plus the 4th day, where we'll be going from Valbonne Valley to Theth Valley, is about 19,000 feet. It's a challenge. It's definitely not easy. I wouldn't say we're not summiting Everest, we're not doing K2, but these are challenging hikes. They're very rewarding. The views are spectacular. We'll be crossing into the Montenegro border in one of them. We'll be following paths that Albanians followed during communism to try to escape the communist regime. Lots of time to learn about the local community, learn about the culture, the customs, the history. We'll be sitting down and speaking with locals, of course. And after summiting these 3 mountains, we'll be climbing from Valbonne Valley, we'll be doing the Valbonne Pass, and that will take us to Theth Valley. Once in Theth, we're going to explore Theth. Again, this is a trip for those that want a challenge. It's a trip for those that want to explore the most undiscovered and remote mountainous range in Europe.
We include everything, right? And it's private. We're talking about arrival transportation once you land in Tirana to your accommodation. We're talking about your meals that are also included, safety gear when it's necessary. Why are you certain that people should do this trip with us, Remote Year?
There isn't really many vendors, many businesses, many individuals in the region that offer this. If you do come across something that it's not supporting local communities, it's not supporting sustainability, why I think remotes will get probably the best value for their money with this trip is because at the end of the day, it's being curated by my team, my staff, my guides, in a fashion that's very, very familiar to, I think, a Westerner. We're not new to this. We know the country. Remote Year has been around for a year.
We have brought remotes to this region. We haven't done the entire length of what we are offering right now, but we have taken remotes to different pieces of this itinerary, and they have all loved it. Again, it's something that has been tested. Remotes already did it. It's something that we feel confident doing and offering.
Exactly. We're bringing together 3 different trips that Remote Year has offered throughout 2023, all of which were well received.
That was one of the best trips we've taken. I think one of the best parts of the North was the South and the North are very different. We got to see both. Part of the thing that I enjoyed the most was that it seemed to take a step back in time a little bit, and you saw what Albania was like. The South being kind of a beach-oriented culture and more nightlife and those things, while the North still had a lot more tradition there. And we really enjoyed the time that we had with the guest houses that were run by families. You got to interact with folks who were passionate about what they were doing and did a great job on hospitality. They connected really well with us, and they were hosts. And that was really neat to see in and amongst all the just natural beauty of the mountains and a great hike.
Well, they were hosts in their own homes, basically. Yeah. And Anna was a wonderful, wonderful guide. She is a little mountain goat. She's just and she's up for any adventure. We hiked for 7 or 8 hours. And then she's like, oh, you guys go and refresh. And then we're going to go up this other mountain it's only a couple hours. The stunning beauty of the Albanian Alps is unlike any other. We were just absolutely amazed how beautiful it was, how picturesque, rural. It's just really stunning. And we highly recommend that anybody, if you can go on even a 1-day trip, but an 8-day trip, we would probably want to do something like that again for a longer period of time.
The ability for us to kind of slow travel and be able to dive into the culture, connect with the people, ongoing conversations about what it meant to be Albanian and what all the years different governments and different political regimes. I think that was just fascinating stuff for us. And so it just wasn't a touristy version, a Disneyland version of Albania in any way, shape, or form. I think the information that we got and the ability to dive in deep on topics that were of interest to us and in particular the history of Albania was of particular merit for us.
What is the accommodation setup for people that they're wondering?
Look, in Tirana, we're all going to have our own private hotel rooms. We'll be spending 2 nights, one when you arrive, and then one on the last day before you set off. And then in between, I like to say we'll be enjoying guest houses. We have private rooms available with an ensuite. We also have shared rooms available with shared bathroom and other facilities in the building. All of the guest houses will have a fire pit, somewhere we can sit. There'll be a bar.
Personal question for you. What would be, maybe in your personal opinion, the 3 peaks, the 3 highlights of this adventure?
That's pretty easy. First of all, day 2 of the trip, when we head over to Lumishalas, you can attest to this, you've been there, but Lumishalas is a dream. It's a very shallow river with very clear, beautiful turquoise water. We'll be doing a lot of swimming, stargazing, cold plunges. 2, it revolves around Jezerca. Jezerca is the 2nd tallest peak in all of Albania. It's about 2,700 meters above sea level. Jezerca in itself has these lakes, jaw-droppingly beautiful. The highlight of this trip is the final peak, which is Jezerca itself. You will have professional photo, video, drone footage, essentially an after movie. If I can add a bonus, the fact that we're going to be spending nearly a week up in the Alps, you're not going to be leaving Albania thinking, I went into Albania, had some fun, and I left. You will leave feeling fulfilled. We are going to be sharing a home, meals, drinks, stories under the stars with locals and individuals that have called this place home for centuries. The Northern Albanians are some of the most warm, loving, hospitable people in the entire country. And hopefully by the end of the trip, you're gonna have lifelong friends who will welcome you back into some of the most stunning, beautiful regions of Albania.
You mentioned it, by the end of the trip, you're gonna feel accomplished and all of that. I definitely 100% agree. I wanna add that you're gonna feel connected with the land, with the country. You'll learn so much of how people live up the north, and from the food. I remember one of the best meals in the north. I still remember that. But not only connected with the land and the country and the culture, but also because it's a challenge, most likely you will all connect because you will all be on this adventure all together.